from Tom and Ruth Filipina Ventures. Today I want to talk about something, the public charge rule. 2019, January 2019, public charge rules may go in effect. Let me clean my lens here. Sorry about this, guys. There we go. Public charge rule. The United States Supreme Court is going to hear a rule this month on the public charge rule of October 15th of 2018. The rule is trying to be implemented by our President Trump because he believes that if we go ahead and implement this rule, so he's filing an appeal for the courts to hear, so let's go ahead and put this rule in effect, and then we'll figure out down the road what the best thing to do is. So what they're doing is, last year in October of 15th, before the 15th was, three courts actually looked at this particular, well, many courts looked at it, but these particular three courts, one in California, one in New York, and I think one in Ohio, looked at this particular ruling that it was going to infringe on the American people and cause harm to the existing public. So what that means is the public was actually going to not gain benefit from this. This will affect many new and existing immigrants filing for visa. So if you actually have a green card now and you would actually want to go in and change your green card status from just any status from point A to point B, this would actually implement this new rule. Now, this new rule will implement new income guidelines. It would also implement new things that insurance and things like that, which we're going to have to do anyway. Now, I believe that this particular rule is something that we need, some type of rule, but not in its present form. This was written by the Homeland Security back in 2017, and it failed back in 2017. They re-implemented it again in 2018, and now in 2019 we're still fighting this battle. Trump wants to go in effect because the immigrants, we're getting overloaded with a lot of immigrants coming from different countries, and he's wanting to actually make it better. Now, what it is, the problem with what it is since there's new income requirements, so say for instance you have a green card and you want to change status on it, it actually puts you on new forms and new things like that you have to fill out for income requirements and certain things you may not be willing to do. Did you receive any kind of public aid during that time? Were you on any kind of public assistance? Now, most people are saying, including myself, that is a free right of human people to be able, our human American citizens to be able to gain access to some of the benefits that is there, and that's what they were saying, that it may put burden on United States citizens if this new rule goes in effect, because not everybody makes $60,000. That's one of the requirements. It went from the poverty level up to 250% more than the poverty level is at the present time. The old rule is still in effect, but what it is, Supreme Court Judge Ginsburg will actually see this, and she can actually make a decision on this. Whether she makes a decision on it or not, it's entirely up to her. More than likely, she's going to actually ask her other Supreme Court justices, hey, can you help me with this? Let's make a decision on this together. More than likely, she can do that. And she will do that. Whether she does that or not, I don't know. Before the October the 15th, like I said, there were three courts that stopped the program because it violates the rights of Americans. Trump applied for an emergency appeal as of recently, and so it's actually going to be in the courts and people are going to be looking at this. Ginsburg, I think, has to do this within the next 30 days. So it'd be sometime in February that this case will be heard. And it may go on a little longer than that. This is just the tip of the iceberg what will happen with this. As you know, if you're a green card holder or you're filing for new immigration, say for instance myself, I'll be filing for my beautiful wife, Filipina, going to the United States, it will cause my income requirements that since I'm retired, I'm on limited funds. It will require me to make $60,000 a year. Of course, I have to provide insurance, which is understandably so. And in some cases, your sponsor will be required to furnish some documents if you have a sponsor. So, for example, if I don't make that 60 income, I can have a sponsor, but they're going to make the sponsors actually pay. So, for example, during that time, if my wife is there and she is not, if I'm not able to take care of whatever, and my sponsor has to do it, or she goes on public aid, the sponsor is going to be required to pay the money back under this new program that's trying to go in effect. There's a lot of other things that will affect a lot of people in many different ways. And I think he really wants the rule to go in effect to help, he says, the American people. And in some cases it will help. But the problem also is, if you're going for an interview and you're going in front of the person doing the interview at the immigration, he can deny you by a couple of bad points. Have you ever received any kind of money or any kind of aid, or have you received food stamps? Have you received aid from a family member? Have you received this and that? And if it gets a negative remark, it can stop your application. Not only can it stop, it can affect the existing holders that are there, and it can cause them to be deported under the new guidelines and new rule. What he's trying to do is clean up the existing system, and the ones that are there illegally and cannot afford to be there, he's actually trying to pull out. But what if you're an American citizen making $45,000 a year, husband and wife, and you got children, whatever children, 1, 2, 3 children, and you're doing the best you can, and everything is fine and rosy, and your wife goes and changes the status on her green card, or a husband changes status on the green card, and then all of a sudden you say, uh-oh, new guidelines. The new guidelines is this: fill out this new form. There's requirements you have to meet. You don't meet any of these requirements, you no longer can stay here. That is the problem. And that's what I was trying to get across to a lot of people. Sorry about the screen not being clean, this, that, and other. I've been doing this video 7 times already. Phone's ringing, internet's bad, so I decided to do a live stream and get it up there so everybody can see this. So, United States Supreme Court rule, public charge, new ruling, January, new appeal of 2019. Justice Ginsburg will actually see this probably in the next 30 days, and she'll make a decision. Let's make a decision if we need to go forth with this rule or stop this rule in its present form. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please subscribe and hit like.